single day, I'm gonna make something great. That's my way. Every single day, I'm gonna make something great. That's my way.
What is up, guys? It's your girl Rai, and today I'll be talking about life in Malaysia as an international student. So first things first, university life in general. Let me tell you, it is not like in the movies. If you're expecting some movie life, university life, please do not come with those expectations. You are going to be disappointed. Uni life is quite intense. You'll be having assignments, you'll be having so much to do. You'll be literally working your ass off, like legit, except during the holidays, yes. But uni life is not what they portray in the movies, so do not come with those expectations. You'll be disappointed big time. You just gotta get your act together and know what you came to do and stick to it. Yes, you're gonna have fun here and there, but you always have to get your act straight and know what you really want from your time in university. That's the first thing. Second thing is cost. Studying in Malaysia is not that expensive, considering you can get a UK degree at a very cheap price here. That's one of the facts that shows it's not very expensive studying in Malaysia. But also in terms of accommodation, you can find different types of accommodation depending on where you stay. Some places, yes, are quite expensive, but I can estimate around 200 USD to 300. Like, that's the average renting a room or a house. But the cheaper way to get good accommodation is by moving in with people, because that way it's cheaper and you can save on so many things. You can save on your bills, you can save on your spending, you can cut down on so many things. So if you want to move out with people, it's easier, it's cheaper, but be careful of who you move out with. Cost also, general living expenses in Malaysia are not expensive. Like, it depends what the type of person you are though. I'm not that much of a spender, and I can say on average a person needs around $200 to $300 to survive. Like, $200 to $300 a month is quite the average, I must say. You can spend less, you can spend more, but the safer budgeting criteria will be like $200 to $300 a month. Third thing, food. Food is not expensive in Malaysia, considering everywhere you go there's food. Like, food is accessible almost everywhere. Like, every corner you turn to, literally there is food, and there's a wide range of food. There are Thai cuisines, Indian, Arabic, Malay, Chinese. Like, I feel like they have so many things, but this is just my own point of view. But for me, eating in Malaysia is quite cheap, honestly. Even the amount of money I spend on groceries per month, per person, I don't spend that much on average. I might say $100 on groceries, excluding eating out. But even eating out is not that expensive. Fast food is quite cheap. There is and they almost have all of the fast food restaurants. And as an international student in Malaysia, you're going to face so many things, but it depends on who you meet, who you mingle with. Sometimes you might face discrimination, or I don't want to say racism, but some sort of racism, but sometimes people will just be fascinated by you. It depends who you mingle with, it depends where you go, but you are going to face some of those things. You might not encounter it, but the chances of you encountering it are high. Like, there are so many cases I've been told by some of my friends, people encountering racism, but I must say some of the Malaysians or some of the locals are very welcoming, they're very friendly. That's why at the end of the day I say it really depends on who you meet. Some might be friendly, some might not be, but oh well. Last thing, I think the last thing is transport and accessibility. Getting around or moving around Malaysia is not that hard, honestly. You have your BRT, which is the bus rapid system. You have the train, which is very cheap, like going from the state I am in to Kuala Lumpur, which is the capital city. It's like $1, which is like 4 ringgits, and that's pretty cheap if you ask me. We have Grab, which is like Uber, and honestly it charges quite reasonable amounts for moving from places to places. So moving around Malaysia is not that hard. It's not easy to get. It's easy to get lost if you don't know where you're going, but again, you always have Grab. You can just put in your location and go to where you want to. But I'd say find people to mingle with so that you know where you're going, and even if you get lost, you know who to ask. Like, at least have friends who you can ask about places. And I think that pretty much sums up this video. So if you guys want to see more content like this, I'll be posting more about life in Malaysia, life as international students in Malaysia. If you guys have any questions, please don't hesitate to drop down below in the comments. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Other than that, see you guys next time. Bye guys.
Given, that's how we live it. Don't be mad at the system, it's simply how we've existed. I hear a lot of people talking like they politicians.